Boom.
Derp, derp, derp. Hello. And welcome.
Did you say derp, derp, derp? Be respectful.
Welcome. Shut up, you fucker.
Be respectful.
Shh. Welcome to Krown's magical derp cave.
Well. Welcome back to the Derp Cave, and we have plenty of derps to go to today. Predictions coming up, and we actually do have a few things to talk about as Bitcoin does more or less range on the short and medium-term time frames. And with that said, is this the bounce that you're looking for? I would actually have to say no, as we did say yesterday. Probably not the bounce that you're looking for. However, I still do like things on the higher-term time frames, more or less. But with that said, on the shorter-term time frames, a little bit of skill involved, or a little bit of ranging involved, more importantly. And with that said, we can get into the Krown Chain application right now, which can be found at app.krownchain.net. What do we see? We see all kinds of things, and I am actually running out a little bit of lack of sleep today because Elsa decided to wake up at 4 a.m. and then started fucking pounding on the goddamn keyboards like a King Kong or some bullshit. Just ridiculous, man. Anyways, with that said, what do we see over here? Yes, we see plenty of things. So Bitcoin dominant, still hanging around that 16.5% region, of which Bitcoin more or less ranging on the whole would allow altcoins their chance in the sun to gain a little bit versus their Satoshi value. So perhaps it would be relevant today to check out the Bitcoin dominance chart. But I'm still looking at a macro low being set in right there for the greater market at whole. Now, of course, versus US dollar, still Bitcoin kind of sets the tone for that. Bitcoin goes up, probably going to go up, probably going to see number go up on altcoin as well. Bitcoin goes down, well, you can probably guess the rest. Anyways, fear and greed index also stuck at a 71. It's become a meme of sorts, but it is actually rather interesting seeing this market still more or less optimistic as it should be. But more importantly, as Bitcoin is pretty much right under its prior all-time high, we don't really see the market in like extreme optimism as you would expect during major macro highs. In fact, if we go over and reference the video that I posted, I think about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago now, about judging the next macro high, there's still no signals actually like suggesting that it happens. Well, at least this week. So we'll put it that way. On top of that, we do see open interest is actually headed up a little bit from yesterday to today. We saw, more importantly, a massive drawdown on that over the last few days after getting up to a generational high, or the all-time high of about 11.5 billion. That is, then came down about 2 billion coming into Monday, Tuesday, and now getting reaccumulated here as we do see it bounce up, adding about 300 million. Yes, 350 million, it looks like. Over the last day and a half now. So positions are being accumulated here, but I do want to be very, very clear on the short-term timeframes. I still do not believe that this is necessarily the bounce that you might be looking for, to quote the old Jedi Master himself, Obi-Wan Derp Obi. Anyways, with that said, top 10 coins and top 10 worst coins. Very interesting here, as we do see, once again, a lot of the 2017 shitcoins taking the pole position. So we are seeing a rotational market right now with the 2017 shitcoins kind of following up after the DeFi shitcoins. Well, you can't really call them shitcoins, I guess, since they have begun absolutely fucking moon modes really since I've been keeping an eye on this down here. But more importantly, we see a lot of old names here: Bat, Digibyte, Cardano, Holochain. That's a HOT one, right? Crypto.com, formerly Monaco, I believe. And actually, those are all the ones that I recognize right here. And then on the other side, we actually see a lot of the newer ones. It seems like, except for VeChain, it's still getting beat up. Ravencoin, of course, as well. And Decentraland, I believe, is one of the older ones. And Zilliqa too, which is actually rather interesting. Zilliqa, I don't know what the fuck was up with that one, because that one used to be one of the altcoins that used to like spam my channel with their fucking spam bots, which always makes me very, 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 very frustrated. No, not frustrated, but it just makes me very skeptical towards like that project. I mean, already on top of being an altcoin. So with that said, what else do I want to say? Yes, announcements. Of course, it is the 3-year anniversary of this channel. We love each other, and so with that said, we do have a 20% discount running for all programs. I always want to say, if you are the type of person who's interested in that sort of thing, make sure to watch the videos. Make sure that's applicable to you. I want to do my best to scare you away from the programs to begin with, because if I can actually scare you away, then it's probably a good sign that it's probably going to be a good fit. And of course, I want to remind you as well that it's going to be a long type of deal there, in the sense that it will very likely take, on average, we've seen about an hour. I almost said an hour. Jesus, that lack of sleep is really catching up with me. About a year or so to a year and a half is what we typically do see before people come like actually consistent. And that's, assuming that they actually put in the work, put in the hours, and put in the effort, because as anything else, as any fucking skill that's worth having within this world, what you put in is typically what you do get out. And this one's no different. So with that said, it is there available for you. Maybe we'll come back a little bit later at the end of the video and maybe do a more directed explanation of that. But of course, the videos are there for you whenever you want to view them, and they are very much in depth and directed towards, is this going to be relevant for me or not? Anyways, into the market data tab we go, as I don't see anything else that's sticking out with sore thumb right now. And yes, we do see price action coming down alongside, of course, open interest coming down as well. So playing into the narrative that we have been looking at for the past I don't know, I guess like 3-4 days now, that longs are still running this market. This is still more or less a healthy signature long term, as longs are essentially taking profits at the top, well, or what would be the top in this case. And now we see open interest kind of falling off. So again, bull still very much in control right now. And this is also further helped out by the funny rate down here as well, as we do see it come down all the way pretty much to a full reset. I do see that the global funny rate is in the 0.01% region, with just a few outliers here, that being base FX, FEMEX, which I think we just have a bad feed on this one because it consistently is at right around 0.043%, and then buy bet a little bit out there, 0.035%, not really crazy, just in comparison to everything else, and Binance about the same thing as well. So with all of that said, I do look at this as more or less a good thing here too, with a funny rate reset, as Bitcoin essentially very close to its prior all-time high, alongside open interest kind of dropping off a little bit there too. That is a damn good sign that Bitcoin is more or less on the higher term time frame still very much bullish. But I need to be careful here because I always feel so pulled in two directions with this, because there's a very big difference in the short-term timeframes versus the higher-term timeframes right now, especially today. So I need to be very, 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 very clear with this to avoid any sort of internet confusion. But basically, short-term timeframes, short-term timeframes, a little bit of downside, medium-term timeframes, ranging action, long-term timeframes, still bullish as fuck actually. But of course, when you say something like that and things don't rally within the next 5 minutes, people on the internet could get angry. So with that said, when we're talking about the higher-term timeframes, we're talking about a couple weeks out, at least a couple weeks out to maybe even a month in some cases. And with that said, this is the next big thing that I really wanted to see here. We're seeing the futures premium over spot price action dissipate fucking significantly right here. And again, this was one of the bigger sort of underlying market dynamics that was giving us major warning signals at the current high of about $62,000. We saw a massive differential between the two on the premiums for futures, which is usually a pretty damn good signal that things will come back somewhere around parity. In this case, we actually have gone all the way back down just about to parity on the whole, and that was all supported again by the funny rate, which was way the fuck out there as well. I think we saw a global rate of like 0.2% region, which was just fucking insane. And then of course several cases of divergence on the medium-term timeframes, judging that next sort of medium-term pullback, and also hitting that major fib to the upside that we had plotted from the $30,000 to $40,000 base. And well, now we're kind of seeing that play out into a nice range, which is so far looking good as reaccumulation, I would say. Anyways, anything else that we have on our menu here? Bitcoin dominance. I still do look at this as a nice higher low, but I think it'd be easier to see it in chart format, or like a regular chart format. Just kind of cruising around. We do have lower highs in the fear and greed index, so that's the market's getting a little bit more bit more fearful there. No, not really. I mean, still obviously in the greedy zone, of course, but that needs to be combined with a few other things, because this is becoming more of a meme than anything else. Just not really too actionable in and of itself. It needs to be combined with many other things. Anyways, into the price action charts we go. Secondary charts to start it off today. Do we want to start off with the 2-day or the daily? I think a daily is fine. More importantly, with the daily, we do see the 20 simple coming in where now, technically speaking, right around 52,600, 52,500. Do want to keep that number in mind, just because it is, rather you'll likely find it coming up a few times in this video here. Anyways, today I want to talk about this as well, and I want to give credit to the person who brought this up to me. I forget exactly who it was. Who was it? Was it Shawmel? I think it was Shawmel in the Discord. But anytime that we have seen the bottom, remember that interplay that we identified with the 55 exponential average and the bottom side troll underband. Well, that also does seem to have a nice interplay on the 2-day as well, where anytime that we have seen the 55 cross the downside of the bottom side troll underband, we have at the very least gotten a test down to the 20 simple moving average, this brown moving average right here. Actually every time, sometimes even lower than that, but at the very least the 20 simple in this case. And you can go back all the way for the last few years and verify this one yourself. We see an example right here, we see an example right here, we see an example right here. This one actually does shoot through, of course. We see an example over here as well, that one dipping down a little bit below as well. But of course, the general disposition is that at the very least we get a test down to the 20 simple. And in this case, it is, obviously it is rising with each and every passing closure here, which we just got a new one last night, or actually, sorry, no, we get a new one tonight, actually. we got a new one tonight, and that is currently coming in around, guess where, about 51,000 bucks. So that probably does rise up about 500 bucks from closure to closure. In fact, measuring it out from the last closure to this closure, we do see, well, I can't see shit right there because it's too fucking difficult. It went up all the way from about 50,000 bucks to just under 51,000 bucks. So could be rising up to about 52,000 bucks by around closure tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, I believe, as the clause gets set here. Anyways, as far as higher term timeframes go, again, looking good. I mean, I look at this as a bullish reset on the DMI. DMI plus is going to come very likely back down to around the threshold, and the ADX kind of loosened its grip as well. But you can see that there's no real building up of a DMI minus signal here, at least anytime soon. I mean, it would really take like a concerted effort for about maybe like a week and a half actually before this even gets dominant, and barring like a $10,000 drop to the downside, knock on wood, right? Anyways, my point is that it's not really actionable right now, and of course I'm sure people are going to call out the 2-day MACD is going to have a bearish cross. Well, just like to the upside, when you don't have a bullish cross accompanied by some sort of structural break, to the downside, same thing. It's not really anything. So this is what people get wrong about the MACD all the fucking time, and one of the reasons why I used to harp on the MACD as kind of being a silly indicator, but it's not a silly indicator, it's just people don't use it properly a lot of the time. And in this case, what would be a breakage of structure? Well, it's actually pretty damn simple here. Using the 20 simple, as long as you're above that, there's no real momentum shift plus structural break, which of course comes in around, or very likely comes in around that $52,000 marker, again around closure tonight. So as long as that condition is not met, I really don't look at this as anything too problematic. In fact, judging the histogram, it does seem like we're just kind of coming back into parity as well, which is essentially a setup for the next move. Looking at the 3-day IMATCH, we don't really have too much here. We do still have the 3-day DMI plus signal, still very much valid, and the ADX still strengthening as well. And I believe we just got a new one today. Yeah, we did just get a new one today. So this one's fresh in its little dildo life, and we will see the same thing here very likely as well, barring any sort of a closure that is, well, actually we can just look at it right here. Let's see. Barring any sort of a closure, guess where? Guess fucking where? 52,000 bucks about, technically speaking, 51,915. Credit to Caretaker on the reverse function for this MACD. By the way, you can get this indicator for free on TradingView. Just type in Caretaker reverse MACD and it'll pop right up on there. I believe it's even open source as well if you want to go play around with it and you are the type of, or you are programmatically minded type person. Anyways, okay, so we went through daily, 2-day, 3-day. Of course, should be notified on the weekly and bi-weekly as well. Again, I'm not bearish on anything that looks like this. I'm certainly not bearish on anything that looks like this. And I'd even go as far as saying, as I have been for the last, for a while now, but especially within the context of this last drop off for the last, few days here, I would actually still be looking for new all-time highs very, 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 very likely within the next 3 to 4 weeks, probably potentially even within the next week and a half to 2 weeks as well. But overall, this is a very strong signature. I would be looking for new all-time highs. I would be looking still for Bitcoin to make its way up to the next major territories here, of which we do still have it charted out, and this is way too convoluted, but let's just pull it out right here. When in doubt, pull it out, as the saying goes. Yeah, right around the 3.618 extension, just under 60, or just around 69,000 bucks, which is a great number as well. Also in line with the measure move from this as a reaccumulation formation. However, this as a reaccumulation formation actually is going to go into a little bit of a question again if we lose what area. If we lose fucking 52,000 bucks, of course, on a daily closure from this perspective, that sort of analysis actually will go by the wayside. But for now, it's still very much valid, and I would still be looking at that, probably in the next, very likely within the next month or so. But let's juxtapose that against the short-term timeframes here, because I know everyone's trading the fucking 5-minute. at least I know Burn the Rainforest is, if he's still around here, if he's still alive, if he made it out of the last Dooms drop and Mega Pump. But looking at this right here, short-term timeframes, yeah, I don't really see anything too out of the ordinary right now. We do have a high on the range just below 58,000 bucks. Remember, 58,000 bucks was sort of the bias buster for the short and medium term timeframes. Once again, trending to the upside, bullish. So as long as you're below there, I don't really look at any sort of mega continuation based off the higher term timeframes to those deeper targets in the $60,000 region. I look at this as more or less a ranging behavior right here. And I'm still looking for a move actually down to the $52,000 region right here, the blue box territory. The blue boxes of peace and prosperity, as you might be calling them, or if you're here from an OG time zone, then you probably remember that from way back when. And now it is officially lined up with the 4-hour 200 simple as well, and likely will even line up with the 200 exponential moving average over time. You can kind of just visualize this right here, although not necessarily the best way to be doing things, but more importantly, we do have a high for the range, we do have a nice low structure for the range, and I'd be looking for Bitcoin to kind of bake within that range for a little bit of time. How long could that take? I mean, I don't really have like a time frame on that. My sort of indications for an actual change of behavior, however, would again be above 58,000 bucks right here, also the 2 spot 618 Fibonacci extension, or below the 51,500 pivot on at the very least a 2-hour closure, preferably a 4-hour, and then we can talk about lower price action down to about 48,000 bucks, or maybe a little bit below there for the next potential major low being put in. But as of this case right here, I do think that Bitcoin does have a little bit of short-term downside. I do think that Bitcoin very likely does bounce off the $52,000 level, give or take about 500 bucks from that territory. And do I think that it could put in a macro, or it wouldn't necessarily be a macro low here, but the next low before the next sort of drive to the upside? Yes, I do think so, actually. So, you know, very, very similar from yesterday to today, or at least, or actually maybe even the last 3 days, in the sense that, yeah, you know, very likely things do come down here, very likely things do bounce, probably going to take its time, but overall, it is more or less a range, and seeing as we just kind of tested the high side of that range, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to now test the low side of that range. And in this case, I'm still looking at 52,000 bucks. I do not look at 55,000 bucks or 54,500 bucks, depending upon which time frame that you're using as sort of that pivot. No, I don't really. I mean, it's just too close. I mean, could you be using that on a short-term time frame? Yeah, if you're trading like a bi-hourly or an hourly, yeah, probably could work. I mean, it has been working, to be fair. But I personally would not be. But again, you know, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and there's multiple ways to skin a cat, except if you're a crypto kitty, because we don't want to be skinning any sort of crypto kitties now, do we? Anyways, looking at the low-term time frame momentum oscillators, should be noted a few things going on right now. We do have, actually, no, we do not have any divergences here on the 4-hour. 4-hour Stokes are technically up right now, kind of holding into the bearish control zone as it is right now. If you see this next twist down anywhere below the 40-ish region, of which we're kind of approaching that right here, then I would be looking at that as the next indication that Bitcoin is going to actually put in a nice momentous drive towards that $52,000 territory. And I imagine that's going to be accompanied by 3, 2, and 1 hour as well, of which 3 hours actually already busting on through. Perhaps this one actually does carry things back onto the heavens. Bi-hourly is all the way up there and having a little bit of dramas right at the edge of the bullish control zone, and hourly is technically down. So a little bit of bifurcation between them all. But overall, I do still look for Bitcoin to very likely test back down here. Do we have any sort of divergences to be speaking about on the hourly? Actually, no. Funnily enough, we actually do not. In fact, kind of fought off all those hidden bearish divergences. Well, I mean, technically it did play out, but not really anything too not really anything too compelling on either side of the range. To be fair, bi-hourly, what do we see right here? Bi-hourly actually will not have that same. We'll actually not have any divergences at all. I mean, we do technically have a higher high on this run right here above our last little range high, but not really getting much else on it on top of that. And then 3 hour, I imagine, is going to be more or less the same, and it is more or less the same. Crazy how that works sometimes. And all of these, you know, over the whole, I do like them, yes, but short term, I actually would be looking for a little bit of downside here. And we can actually use yesterday's closing high, or sorry, not yesterday's closing high, but the short-term time frame 4-hour closing high as probably a continuation point as well. So could I move down that $58,000 level to $57,000? Probably could, yes. In this case, I still think that 58,000 bucks is just, you know, more clean, but it would technically be continuation from that perspective. If you see all momentum oscillators twist up at the same time as well, it's going to be a damn good signal that Bitcoin, yes, does make its way back up towards, you know, $6,000 territory, and you know, it's once again game on to the upside. But medium-term time frame still say, you know, hold your horses a bit here. We got 12-hour Stokes still headed nice and handily down, getting right around the edge of the bearish control zone. Probably in the next tick, not necessarily this tick, but the next tick. It looks like, technically speaking, we did head off a little bit of hidden bullish divergence here, but these are the ones that I don't really look at as like easily playable. I mean, technically speaking, you know, if you hit it on this one right here on the confirmed low, yeah, you did have about what about a $1,500 move. What's closing price right here? 55.5 versus 57. Yeah, about $1,500 move right there. I don't really play these ones, to be honest with you. Just because they happen a little bit too fast for me. But in this case, you know, what I'd be looking for is another drop down, and then very likely puts in divergence on like a daily, which is still not quite there. Our last higher low structure was on 4th of March right here. Yeah, so 4th of March is going to be all the way down to about 48,000 bucks. So you do still have your higher lows as long as you're above that region. That also would imply though that Bitcoin can, you know, come down very easily to about 52,000 bucks. And at that point, I'd really be looking for any sort of potential divergence signals, and that very likely does mark off the next higher low. I still, again, very much favor the higher term timeframes. There's nothing bearish about the weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, at least in the way that I look at things. Short-term timeframes, however, a little bit of an ebb and flow here, and then I will be looking for things to get resolved. But all of this is more or less a continuation of the last few days, and you know, short-term timeframe range is really, really nice for the range traders, of which I typically am one myself. But in this case, I've actually been adopting more medium and higher term timeframe strategies. So I will try to be, I'll try to be on my best behavior and try to be patient myself. So with with that said, let's go check out traditional markets here too. We actually did not do this yesterday on yesterday's live stream. We actually just followed up on it on the late day wrap up, and this would have been a damn good indication as well that Bitcoin was going to have a little bit of a short-term rally. Anyways, going back on over here, let's check out all of the big three. Start off with Dow Jones, which I have been kind of looking at as the leader of the big three indices right now, as we do go into, once again, a rotational market. Is it trying to put in a higher low right here? Yes, it looks like we do actually have regular bullish evidence come off the lows, so it would be having a little bit of a short-term target back on to around 32,750, maybe even $800. Somewhere around there would be about fine. As momentum also just twist up northwards once again, even playing off, you could visualize a nice little trend line there, not that they really need to, but more importantly, this is all with HVP being incredibly low right here, so I actually would be looking for another try to the upside. Looks like this one is essentially just wedging itself into what would be an ascending triangle, and I wonder if the measure move on this actually does line up with the next upside target. Well, first off, let's actually see what the next upside target was. I think it was 33,150-ish region. Curious what this one looks like down here, although it does look a little bit heavy. It actually does look a little bit heavy to be fair, but I'm curious if this actually does line up with it. That would be a really good confluence, and it looks like it just about does actually. That would be a targeted price of about 33,129 versus 33,150. Yeah, I'd say close enough is close enough in this case, and looking all good, on this one. Now, here's the thing though: higher term timeframes, obviously very much bullish. Again, I'm not going to be bearish in anything that looks like this pretty much ever. Short term, however, if we do break this structure, I would look for a nice little downside move, and this is actually going to play into the analysis on SPY and NASDAQ, more importantly, of which if this one does break our current low structure, that would be any sort of a move, any sort of a closure, even on an hourly below about 32,680-ish region, I would be looking for a markdown somewhere back down around 32.5 region. And that actually does look a little more likely just because of what we see on NASDAQ and SPY, which we'll go to SPY next, the next sort of strong one in the list. And momentum oscillators are pointed southwards right here for now. Not anything too crazy, not anything too critical. Again, all higher term timeframes very much bullish, and god damn it, it's fucking kitchen time. Turn that shit off. I'll eat dirty dishes for the rest of my life. I don't care. I don't fucking care, man. That's right. That's right. A little bit of bearish divergence on 4-hour SPY futures here. I believe that we're kind of playing that out right now. I do think that it has another drive to the downside, at least somewhere around the 21 exponential average right here, which is about 3940-ish region. So short-term down, yes. If we go down to the hourly, same sort of thing. Very similar to Dow Jones, of course, but overall, that would still be within the context of higher low structures. So 3935 to 3940-ish region is kind of where we're looking for, and probably another bounce attempt somewhere around there. Of course, we do look at the daily. It is a little bit more problematic here, but getting some good major moving average crosses does suggest that the next sort of short-term downside or even medium-term downside move very likely does get picked up once again. Wouldn't be surprised to see, about 3935, 3940-ish region. Certainly not out of the question. And again, looking at the weekly right here, am I bearish on anything that looks like this? No, actually, I'm not bearish on anything that closed on new all-time highs. By fucking definition, still like weekly RSI, still like all higher term timeframes for the most part. And I would be looking for general continuation here, maybe a little bit of short-term pullback action. Moving on to NASDAQ, which I do think is a little bit more closely correlated with, of course, Bitcoin, especially as it is, technically a tech, somewhat of a financial, which the NASDAQ essentially includes both. We do see that daily is a bit of a pullback. Would be looking for a backfill on yesterday's open, somewhere around 13,100-ish region. Did we hit our target from yesterday, though? I said 13,300 target. We got to 13,287 and a quarter. Fuck you, Krown. You're wrong. Die. I hope you die in a fiery hanged death. Well, Elsa thinks that's funny. You're gonna have to bury me, so it's not like I have a fucking family here. Anyways, I would be looking for a little bit of a short-term pullback here. Probably does pull back to the 21 on the 4-hour. Do we have any sort of divergences here? Actually, no, we do not, which is rather interesting. But I would be looking for a little bit of short-term down here on this one. Very similar to Bitcoin, but ultimately, with the way that we do see all the higher-term timeframes on basically all the other charts, I do look for this get picked up once again. And as long as, as long as you're getting daily close above the 21 in this case, which is just above $13,000, I look for general continuation, not just a 13,300, but very likely up towards about 13,550 to 13,600-ish region. Very likely to do what the other major indices have already done, as this one's kind of playing the laggard right now. But as it stands, short term, a little bit toppy here, a little bit of a a downside move. Certainly not anywhere out of the question. I'd say about $13,000 is kind of would be a little bit of a soft target for that. Not that I should really be giving out targets because it's not finished advice, but that's where I kind of be looking for on a bit of a pullback here before the next sort of bounce attempt. Anyways, moving on to, is there anything else that we want to move on to? Sell Ethereum, sell Ethereum, sell Ethereum. Okay, man. Hey, if you're, look, I need a good time to buy. Well, Mr. Omar, you came to the right place. The internet is great with all sorts of ripe informations that would definitely make sense in your case, because you know what? All you need to know, I need to buy. Oh, what do you need to buy? Don't fucking know. What time do you need to buy it by? Also don't fucking know. But guess what? I still got your answer, man. Look, man, if you're asking this question like that, you're already fucked. I hate to break it to you, but you're already fucked, because you can't even like identify very simple, very directed sort of criteria that would even mark off like what even you're talking about to begin with. This is what I love about this sort of space, and it probably sounds like I'm talking down, and maybe I'm talking a little bit down right now, but I dealt with this myself, of course, too. So I don't want to separate myself from this bullshit, because look, when I first started trading, I was probably doing the same shit, like asking my mentor, hey, what should I buy now? It's like, shut up, kid. Get the fuck out of my face, is what he would have said to me. But more importantly, it's like, look, look, you got to have a fucking plan, man. And at the end of the day, only you can designate that plan. And then, maybe you can come to someone else and say, hey, I'm looking at this plan right here. Could you critique this? And then you actually could have something. But if to just say like, should I buy now? I need a good place to buy. All right. Good luck with that, man. Good fucking luck with that. Don't know what to say other than that. Hold Ethereum. This is the way. I don't know. Is it the way? It's generally bullish. Everything in this market is generally fucking bullish. But short term, is it bullish? No, it's not actually. In fact, you're going to see it twist down right now. 4-hour Stokes having a little bit of dramas around the edge of the bearish control zone. And I would be looking for this one to continue on the short term downtrend, probably back down to about 1720. So it's like hodl Ethereum. This is the way. I don't fucking know. Is it the way? Or what time frame are you on? Are you trading? Are you day trader? If so, probably not. If you are, thinking long term, like on a weekly plus, probably fine. The whole fucking market is more or less green here. I mean, it's kind of hard to be losing money on something that looks like this, to be honest with you. But looking at it right now, this is a clear consolidation at a high level. Very likely does be a continuation. Very likely will make its way into the $2,000 region. Very likely will essentially just continue on the whole, probably for a long time. But the problem is that you say that on the internet, and then you get a 10% move to the downside, and because you're 100x leveraged, you get liquidated, and then you're mad. So at the end of the day, man, it's like things need to be very well defined. What's up, Robin Morse? Forgive me, my sire. I'm just a regular sire, just a regular sir here. No sire, just sir. How you drawing your fib retracements and extensions? All okay. That makes me feel weird, but thank you, man. I do appreciate that. Okay, so how are you drawing your fib retracements and extensions? Like, do you want a fucking masterclass on how to do fibs? Well, that's what the program's for. And that video specifically takes about an hour long, and then the fib extension video is probably another like 20 minutes long. So to kind of do that on a video right here is going to be pretty unreasonable, to be honest with you. But like, if you're literally asking me how am I doing it right now, I mean, the general knowledge is, look, you have a consolidation right here. You take the retracement on the consolidation, do it backwards for the fib retracement tool, and it'll plot the extensions for you automatically. And to be honest with you, I don't really care about doing the retracement tool to begin with, right? Because at the end of the day, the fibs are more or less symmetrical with each other. The interpretation of those specific Fibonacci numbers can have obviously different interpretations with the market dynamics, but you just flip it around your fucking head. It's not that goddamn difficult as people make it out to be. I mean, look at this, man. It's rather simple here. If I'm looking to plot a fib extension from this area right here based off this base, just take the fucking high. Just take the fucking high of the range, which is going to be about $41,000, just above $41,000. Take the low of the range, which is just below $31,000, and that's going to automatically plot all your extensions to the upsides. And yes, technically this would be backwards right here, but look, you can just flip it in your head. The 618 is similar to the 382. How does that work? I don't know. Fucking inverted math. It's craziness. Anyways, the 0.5 always going to be in the middle anyways. So that's the true IQ test right there. The 0.5 seems to be different when you flip it. I don't know. You definitely did something wrong in that case. Holy shit. Hey, what's up, Bitcoin Delphine? Emergency derp, imminent exactly as predicted. Holy prediction. My fucking prediction bunghole has been filled with block folios. What does that mean? Don't fucking know. But Chris, could you tell me right now? Today, for the price of derp coin, we have We have a sideways as fuck range. That's what the titles really should be. Emergency warning. We have a very sideways range, and guess what? Probably not going to be all that interesting for the people who are Moon Boys or Doom Boys right now. It's a little bit of sideways here, as what is most likely usually in markets to begin with, anyways. It's rather funny, man. People always want to say like emergency broadcast. There's something new in the charts. Actually, not much. But fair enough. It's fun. It's YouTube, right? It gets the views and everything, and you can't really hate that. It's just it's fun to talk about, though. No one's ever going to say that that's not fucking funny. So fair enough. Go Lucky says, "Hi, Krown sir." Hello, Go Lucky sir. Could you per derp car dealer UST for only on this channel? Will I know? Will someone know what the fuck you're talking about there? But good on that, because I actually do know what the fuck you're talking about. You're talking about car derpio. And we got 4 hour and daily. 4 hour. Oh my god, man, this just came out of nowhere right there. Not bad. Perhaps could bode well for the rest of the market too. Popping back above the range. Not bad at all, actually. Not bad indeed. Did we hit our targets to the downside from yesterday? I believe we did. I think I might have been looking a little bit lower towards about 94 cents, but close enough is close enough in this case. I would maybe be looking for a little bit of a short-term pullback based off this, but this is good action right here. Continuation is very likely to occur. If it did pull back first towards like 118 region, that'd be completely fine. Ultimately, though, I would be looking for this one to not just retest the prior all-time high. I'd be looking for this one to very likely make new all-time highs. When you see something like this, consolidation at a high level, usually going to be a good thing, but it's not quite there just yet. Still want to see technically a daily closure above about 133 region, and then we could target new all-time highs on this one. But for right now, a little bit of a short-term pullback likely does lead towards another test towards the prior all-time high, and then we'll come back to it after that, probably over the next, probably later this week, I'd guess. I mean, we're already on Wednesday? Are we on Wednesday? Is this hump day? I think it is hump day. Hold on. It's the 17th. Yeah, it is. Hey, all right. Cool. Doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean shit. It's the weekend, guys. Time to have fun. Or twerk Wednesday? Is that it? Oh, Jesus Christ. Hey, what's up, MP Hanger? How you doing, man? But yes, I do like the volume on this, on this little up thrust right here. That is a little bit of a change of behavior outside of the range. So overall good. Short term, probably a little bit of a pullback, but I imagine that very likely does get picked up. And anywhere around about 118 is where I'd be looking towards. So about 4 cents away from where we're at right now. Anyways, Bitcoin not bullish. Yeah, says Mrs. G. Mrs. G, what do you mean? Mrs. G, what do you mean it's not bullish? What am I gonna do? I've already fucking spent all my bitcoins. Ah, dear Lord, dear God. Let's see. Anthony Carmosio says Bitcoin potential 3 drives bearish divergence on the weekly. I don't know. Is it potential? No. So I've been getting a lot of questions about this too. Krown, are you worried about the bearish divergence? Potential 3 drives on the weekly? Actually, no, because guess what? We do not have a local confirmed high right here at all. Is it potential? Yes. And you did say potential. So to be fair, I shouldn't be fucking giving you that treatment, because that's really more saves for other people saying very more aggressive statements, which I think you are very fair and balanced for. So you know what? Apologies to you, my friend. But more importantly, with this, do we have potential bearish divergence in play here? Well, potentially, yes. Is it confirmed on 3 drives? Absolutely fucking not. We have no local high confirmed right here. If you look at this as bearish divergence and play this as bearish divergence, you're going to short. You are going to short every fucking continuation drive to the upside right here. And, while it's not necessarily going to show up on the weekly, because the weekly, is obviously going to be, it's going to be incorporated a lot more data. If we looked at it on a daily, you'd be shorting every fucking continuation drive to the upside right here. Because technically speaking, there is potential, yes, but is it confirmed? Absolutely fucking not. So at the end of the day, this is why I do typically say, I'm never really going to catch the ultimate high. I can kind of like guess towards where it's going to be, come up with an educated guess on it, based off confluence signals for, bot and algo targets for the most part. But until I actually see a confirmed local high, I will not call it a potential high. And of course, you can't have a potential macro high without confirming a fucking local high. It's one and the same. Well, it's not necessarily one and the same, but that condition needs to be met before you go into the next one, obviously. So with that in mind, yes, it is potential. You are 100% correct. But how would you confirm this as a local high? Because that would probably be the next question on this one. Well, you need to see this one close something like this, as some sort of like a spinning top, perhaps, is what this one would be called, a signal of potential indecision, perhaps reversal. How would you confirm this as a reversal signal, though? You need to see it close like this, and then next week take out the low of it at the very least, and then yes, you would have your bearish divergence. You can start targeting moves back down like around $40,000 actually. So it's potentially there, yes, but I look at this as first and foremost bullish here, especially with the hidden bullish divergence signal that we identified and confirmed actually coming coming into last week's closure, this week's open, that is. What else did I miss over here? Umet Inse says, hello, sir. Could you please derp a derp? Is this like Team America? I wonder if they could make that movie now, in today's world, the Team America movie. And also, I also wonder about Tropic Thunder as well. Like one of the funniest movies of all time, but I don't know if it would fly today. I feel like that movie would definitely be banned, or I don't know. There'd be a lot of this movie has a trigger warning. Beware of being offended by a movie, by a fucking comedy movie, nonetheless. Jesus Christ, man. Sty Guy Bob, what's up, Sty Guy Bob? Hey, Krown. Hello, store guy. Thoughts on the last season of JoJo no Kemyo na Buken Part 5? Can't even say it. Actually, can't even pronounce it. Thoughts on it? Cool name, too fucking long though, and too difficult for my English tongue or my American tongue. Thanks for your insight, it's greatly appreciated. I haven't seen it, man. I just got my anime PP wet for the first time about a month ago when Elsa had me watch this movie called what was it called? Spirited Away? Is it Spirited Away? It was something like that. It's actually rather interesting, man. I definitely do appreciate it, although I'm not very experienced in the anime sector. James Amos says, Krown, can you take a look at Doggycoin? Yeah, we can look at Doggycoin. Sure, why not? I'm guessing you want to see it versus the Bitcoin, or maybe you want to see it versus US dollar. It's probably going to be more interesting charts. We already know what Bitcoin chart looks like. Very likely a pump and dump, if I had to guess. But versus US dollar, it's actually... I'm going to say the fucking craziest thing that I've said in a long time. Actually, versus USD, it looks pretty good here. For all things considered. I mean, this is actually pretty constructive here, where you see a long-running accumulation phase, just kind of hanging at the lows without really making new all-time lows. And then a little bit of a markup right here gets reaccumulated into another markup, which is getting reaccumulated right now. I mean, you still see that higher low structure. And there's actually a pretty damn good signal right here, too, with the daily momentum oscillators crossing back up in the bullish control zone. Very likely to be confirmed as early as tonight's closure at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Daily RSI looking more or less good as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one retest the prior highs at 8 cents. Holy shit. Mia Khalifa is going to be back in the green again, or she's at least going to be break even. And then does it get further continuation to new all-time highs? Probably yes. I mean, this, the market's kind of just doing that right now. Even has that same sort of hidden bullish divergence present here too, which yes, very likely does get another test somewhere around 8 cents region. This is on a weekly. I'm not talking about like today or this hourly, for example. Opa Simpson says, could you take a look at hourly and daily Chili's? Okay, Chili's. Oh man. Hey, where did my cursor go? There we go. Found it. Nice one. Didn't give a base pair on it, so I'm going to go versus the dollar here. And we'll go to, I guess, Binance is going to be the one to be looking at right here. Long term, very good if you're looking at a weekly, but you're not. You're looking at a daily and hourly. Weekly, I'd be very much looking for this one to continue on to new all-time highs. Extremely good chart right here, at least for the information that we do have. But I've learned in the past that sometimes that can be very deceptive. For right now, I'd be looking for this one to continue long term. If you're looking at it daily, I'd actually be looking for a bounce around here on the daily, anywhere around about 47 cents region. Anywhere around 47 cents looks good to me. What about an hourly? Yeah, our hourly looks like it wants to put in a low here too. I'd be using even the 200 simple and 200 exponential average as a bit of a pivot here too, and it's very nice that lines up with the daily. So technically speaking, as long as it's above there, I'd actually be looking for this to just generally be reaccumulated, give another try back up towards 6 cent, more or less short term, and probably retest the prior all-time highs and probably make new all-time highs based off the weekly. The weekly is very, very powerful. The weekly is very, very good on this one. Short term, however, if it does break the 200 exponential average to the downside on an hourly close, because this actually is the time frame that we're looking at right now, that would be, what is it exactly? About 48.5 cents. I would look for a bit of a markdown down to about just around 40-ish cents region. So a rather big move, to be fair, but realistically, man, I don't really have a reason to be bearish on this one. Very likely does pull through here. One of the better actors here to be, over a long period of time, and that's very much respectful. So awesome, very, very cool. Anyways, actually one of the better charts that we've seen today, but I wouldn't necessarily be looking for continuation like today. The weekly is what kind of tells on this one. This one can pull back rather aggressively too. I mean, that's the problem with these altcoins. This thing could literally go for a 50% pullback down to 25 cents, and it'd still be in a posture for long-term continuation. So that is kind of the dilemma that you do run into typically with altcoins, as well as liquidity, as well as legitimacy too. But in this case, long-term, I do favor continuation here. All right, cool. Steven Rulamante. Hey, what's up, man? H-bar. This one keeps on coming up. What is this H-bar? Is it a crypto? Is it a stock? It's a crypto. God damn it. It's a fucking crypto. Head derpa hash graph. All right, on Binance. Very similar chart here, too. This one looks a little bit more potentially toppy here. Short term, I'd be looking down towards about 28 and 28 and a third cent. 4 hour, yeah, probably does bounce around there. A little bit of short term down. Very likely to bounce off that level. And then we'll come back to it after that and check it out again. I'm not so confident on the high term timeframes as on this one compared to what we just looked at. This one actually could be a major top here. I'm not really seeing any bearish divergence on the weekly, however. Do we have it on the daily? Actually, no. Yeah, so very interesting there. Yeah, so I'm more inclined to say that this one's very likely to bounce somewhere around 29, maybe even 30 cents region, and then come back to it after that. At least on the short-term timeframes. Alrighty, cool. Natalie Edwards says, how many derps would a derp coin derp? If a derp coin could buy derps, could I have your insight? Must invest in more derps! God damn it. What sort of monster have we started now? Soon enough, the derps are going to be on the fucking soundboard here, too. I give it 5 derps out of 5. There you go. All right, nice one. Did you buy Bitcoin 24-hour Bittrex? Oh my God, man, this is actually gonna be very interesting here. Digibyte is a 2017-2016 shitcoin, so it has a lot of history, especially on Bittrex, which was actually relevant back in that time too. So I'm curious to see what it looks like. And oh shit! Oh shit! It's all the way fucking down! And the worst shitcoin chart of the day goes to DigiDerp. Four years of straight fucking down action, sir. You found the worst goddamn chart of the day. Shut the fuck up, Lex. Taking too long. Could you imagine just being there with him at that point? It's just like, all right, you done yet? Or is this the finale? Yes, I did hear you, sir. Someone says stop screaming. Well, you came to the wrong place. All right, A. Lombardi says, morning, Krown. Good morning, sir. He also says morning, Elsa, but that doesn't matter. Ever looked at... Sorry. Just being honest. She says, good morning, sir. Would you like to come over here? Ever looked at the golden ratio multiplier on looking to Bitcoin? I believe I have, yes, but not anytime recently. So I will hold off on commenting on it because I'm not fully familiar with it. And it's been at least a year since I saw it last, maybe 6 months at the earliest. But it would be good for me not to talk about shit that I do not that I'm not like fully up to date on. Rest of comment below, can't fit it in with a 500 donation. All right, fair enough. Where is it? We got Lombardi. Where is Lombardi? Lombardi, where is it? Okay, I'm looking at the purple band. In the past cycles when Bitcoin bounced off and closed above it seems to indicate the beginning of a final run to the top. Okay, so with that, I do think that I would need to, first off, where are you finding, okay, you're finding this on looking to Bitcoin, but do they have it on TradingView now? Because a lot of those indicators actually have been put into TradingView. Let's see if typing in lib actually brings it up. Yeah, it does bring it up. Okay, nice one. This guy's good. All right, well, first off, maybe we don't do this on Cardano, or sorry, not Cardano, but DigiDerp, and we can go over here. And what do we got? We got nothing because it's not even put it on. What's the issue here? Study error. Okay, well, I think we'll get rid of it right here. Well, let's try it on a more long running chart. Let's try it on this chart over here. Let's get rid of everything. In fact, actually, before we do that, let's go look at the pi cycle top indicator. Do the daily perusal on this one. Just kind of like, keep tabs on it as I stutter my way around my fucking English tongue. And 87.5% away from it right now. Still, getting there, but not immediately concerning. Not immediately concerning, meaning like today, tomorrow, probably even this week. Still has some time to go there. So fair enough. Okay, so you're looking at, okay, so let's bring this one up again. It was the golden ratio multiplier. Okay, this does ring a bell, but it's actually not populating here. I'm getting a study error, so maybe it needs to be done on a weekly, perhaps. Is that going to be the nope, that's not going to be it. Does it need to be done like a full daily here? No. Maybe it needs BLX. No. Maybe a weekly here. I'm not finding what I feel like I should be finding, so I think it would be a good idea to either get more color on this one and we can come back to it, or well, yeah, I'll just wait for that. I want to make sure that I want to make sure that I'm looking at the right thing, because it's been a long time since I've looked at that, and in a more sincere tone, like I really don't want to talk about something that I'm not like fully clear on. I hope that that's respectful in a way. Shibley says Rose USDT daily time frame Binance. Much love to you as well, sir. All right, Rose USDT Binance. Okay, all right. What the fuck is this thing? It's pretty good, whatever the hell it is. Very, very similar to, I think, the Chili's chart. This one can pull back like pretty significantly here, even to like 15 cents region, and it still remain long-term bullish. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this one make new all-time highs over the next few weeks here. Short-term, I'd be looking for bounce off the 10 simple, just below 18 cents region. I don't really know which time. Oh, no, you did say a daily. Okay, you did say a daily. Short-term, maybe a little bit more down, but ultimately it is in a little bit of a bounce region. Probably be looking for it to bounce back up towards about 21.5 cent region. And then do we get continuation on top of that or get a further pullback? I imagine that's going to be more or less a function of what Bitcoin does. So if Bitcoin pulls back further, let's call it to like $52,000, I'll be looking for this one to make a little bit deeper of a stab, somewhere around the 21 here, which likely does rise up around about 16.5 cents. So whether it's this level here, whether it's this level right here, I do like this one long term. That's, I think, what you're more interested in. So so hopefully I'm getting that. Hopefully I'm interpreting that right from your perspective, so that this is more relatable to you. But ultimately, I'd be looking for all-time highs on this one. This is very powerful right here. Very, very good. Did I miss anything else? I feel like I might have. Okay, no, actually, I think I'm good over there. And if I did miss something, like just tag Elsa, because she'll be able to, I don't know, tell me. Okay, Umet Insei says, hello again, sirs. Hello again, Mr. Sir. .USD. Yep, we got .USD. I remember this one. This one actually was one of the more early interesting altcoins for a while on Binance. And this one's actually looking like more immediate continuation, barely even coming down to the 10 simple. I mean, this is the definition of chasing moving averages on a weekly. That's pretty fucking good. That's usually going to lead to continuation. In this case, you basically just see an uptrend, probably the easiest chart of today. Looking at this one as an ascending triangle at a high level. I guess we already have it in there. In fact, this one's still working, although not perfectly, but still working, and I'll still be looking at a target of about $48. Again, if we do see a high above this high at about $40 and 15 cents, or if we get a closure, especially above, let's call it about $38.50. One of those two things, and I'll be looking for that next continuation phase. Pretty fucking good here. This one's very mature in this consolidation as well, as you can see from the volume signature and looking at the weekly. I mean, this, again, certainly a much more respected chart there. So good shit. Although you didn't really give a time frame on that, so I'm not sure how relevant that was to you. Jazz Mazu says, check out Mana US. I'm guessing that's USD. Gonna derp more? Maybe. Mana. This one, I believe, I remember seeing this name. Yeah, it's on Trex, so it's got to be a 2017 shitcoin as well. Popping up quite significantly there. But what I want to do is I want to look at this on the longest running exchange, which is probably going to be Trex. But I guess it's going to be Trex, and let's see where it is in that. No, still fine here versus US dollar. Is it going to dirt more? Short term, maybe yes. I wouldn't be surprised to see it make a full run towards the 10 simple here. I wouldn't be asking for too much at 75 cents, 75.5 cents to be exact. I mean, even could run for the 21 as well, just below 61 cents. But ultimately, the weekly, very similar to a lot of the other charts that we looked at for altcoins today, barring Digibyte, for example, is very much bullish here. I'd be looking for further continuation. So it depends really what time frame that you're looking at. Short term and medium term, maybe a little sideways, but very likely a bounce on the medium term time frames. Higher term time frames, very much bullish. So again, short term, maybe another small drive down. Let's actually look at the short term. I'm just curious from my own knowledge. Yeah, it could very easily come back down to about 78.5 cents. I wouldn't be asking for too much there, but I'd be looking for bounce within this region. Could we already seen the low? Possibly yes. Long-term continuation is the name of the game there, though, or at least that's what I'd be looking at. Okay, cool. M Aurora says, "Hey, Krown, perp on perp. Okay, perp on FTX. You talking about perp? Wait, is this a thing? This is a thing. Oh my fucking god." FTX has become a meme of itself. What is this actually though? Perp? Do they have fucking perps for their perps? it probably sounds like I'm making a joke, but I'm not trying to do that. I'm actually curious what the underline is here. Like, what are they? What are they? Have they made a derivative of their derivative? Well, I guess that kind of makes sense, but I mean, it's still pretty fucking weird to name it perp. For the information that we have here, it's good, but I don't like shit that does shit like this. The reason why I say that is because this is not very flowing. I mean, if anything, this is obviously bullish, especially in line with the context of the general market. We do have change of behavior volume over here too on the nice move above what would be your neckline and inverted head and shoulders. This one probably does have some good upside here, going all the way from 4.5 to 7.5. Yeah, I'd be looking for about a $3 rally. Long term on this one, but this is only a 4 hour. We really don't have too much history on this one, so I do want to say that while I would be bullish on this one, probably looking for about a $10 target or so. Yeah, a little bit above $10 target long, or what would be long term. I don't know what a 4 hour really means on this one. Again, I really want to see a lot more history than this, but technically speaking, yeah, it does look more or less good here for the information that we do have, I suppose. But I'd really like to know what the underlying is in this one. Like, what is it measuring? Okay, Omar needs to be banned because he look, man, if you're gonna spam shit like this in all capitals, it's just annoying for everyone else, man. It shows that you don't care about like the fucking community here, and that's not what we're about. So unfortunately, man, at the very least gotta hide him, and at the very least probably have to ban him. So there you go. Chess Champion says, hey Elsa, can you do your fucking job?
I'm trying.
All right, you're ineffective. You're out. All right, Elsa's out. I have to do this myself. I have to do this myself nowadays. Yeah, no, you didn't. All right, there we go. Got it. All right, sweet one. Okay, cool. Lovely. All right, excellent. Where was the last one that I just missed there? And again, look, no hate, man, but unfortunately, if you're gonna do that, like, you have to understand everyone else's experience in this too. It's like you can't just fucking spam shit. It would be the same thing as like running up to someone's face and being like, "Hey, can you look at Ethereum? I need to look at Ethereum right now." It's like, it's fucking weird. Sorry. Sorry, but I do want to make sure that the community still stays on this current trajectory, which I think is very, 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 very healthy, actually. All right, Chess Champion 94 says, "Hey Chrome, hey Chrome." Chrome Crown. Never heard that one before. Can you take a derpy look at Banana USD? Yeah, we just looked at that one actually. You're talking about Mana decentralized versus US dollar. You're specifically looking at a 4 hour here. Again, I don't really have changed my answer here. Short term, maybe a little more downside to like 77 or 76.5 cents, but ultimately I'd be looking for bounce within this region, and long term it's continuation. That's what I feel a lot more confident on. Looks generally good to me on the higher term timeframes. Craig Dis says, CHST FDR, please, sir. Is this that's two. Oh man, it's two. All right, CHST, just one at a time, sir. CHST. Okay, so this is not bringing anything up, unless okay, maybe it's like literally like this, and it's just one whole thing. Hey, what the fuck? That's the ferry that goes from Helsinki to Tallinn. That's weird. What the fuck is that doing there? I used to read this one all the time when I lived in Tallinn. I'm not getting anything for this, man, so I'm just going to have to pass on this one because I don't think that I would be looking at what you want to look at. FDR, it would be really good to put an exchange on this so that I can know, because I don't know, maybe I don't even know what country this is, to be honest with you. I really am that ignorant American, I guess. I have no fucking idea what flag that is. BME? Is that like Bermuda Triangle or something? If this is what you're looking at, which I have no fucking idea if this is what you're actually looking for. It's South Africa. Okay, it's South Africa. Okay, got it. Wow, that's their flag. That looks interesting. It's bullish, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know if this is what you're trying to look at, though. I'd be looking for new all-time highs on this one, though. Very obvious reaccumulation, very obvious continuation. Daily RSI, very good. I'd be looking for this one to make new all-time highs, probably upwards of the deeper $20 regions. Looks good. Fishing with Donnie says, shitcoins or no? Is it a question? Are they shitcoins? I mean, well, shitcoins is usually uses like a, mostly pejorative term, right? For anything that's not named Bitcoin. So technically speaking, are they shitcoins? Yes. Are they actually shitcoins in the sense that like they're bad? Well, you didn't give a goddamn base pairing on them. So I'm just going to go with US dollar and let's see if that brings up anything. Now, Ren, I remember specifically from 2017 again. I also remember it as one of the better ones from 2017. And to be fair, this actually is one of the better charts. But I also noticed that this really actually, it does have a decent amount of history since 2018. That was, of course, your market low. So it is good to see that it's following the general market. I'd say this one's, okay as far as shitcoins go. Wouldn't mind another short-term move down about 98 cents region, but I'd be looking for bounces here. Again, the market is more or less moving together. Ultimately, I think that this one very likely does pull through any sort of a move above last week's high at about 140ish region. I'd look for new all-time highs up to $2 and probably beyond. Generally a good chart here over a long period of time. Algo, okay, this is the algo round thingy that I keep on hearing about on the interwebs. And what do we have? I guess this is going to be the one. I'm trying to look for something that's going to have better history, but I guess this is maybe the best that I can do here. Again, so this one does not stand out in terms of other shitcoins. Now, is this one going to be bad? It's going to follow the rest of the market, man. Very, 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 very likely. Wouldn't be surprised to see the daily move back up towards 144.5 region and probably make new highs on this run alongside that. But comparing it to the one that we just looked at, for example, this one's obviously relatively weak, right? It's not making new all-time highs alongside the rest of the strong coins in this market. So it would be probably in the middle of the pack more or less, because we do still see coins that are in like generational downtrends. So it's obviously not like on the weakest side of that equation, but it would be considered relatively weak compared to like what we just looked at, which was, what was that, Ren, for example? Yeah. So again, if you're thinking in those terms, that's how it kind of relate that concept. But overall, this one very likely does join the rest of the market. I wouldn't be surprised to see it make new highs on this run. It's generally going to follow, I'd imagine, but it's certainly not going to lead. Michael says, can you look at MediBlock USD? Oh Jesus! All right, MediBlock. What the fuck is this? Oh my God! Only on Bittrex. This is a dead exchange, by the way. This is pretty much a dead exchange for what it's worth. And you looked at, you want to look at USD specifically. I mean, if it's on Bittrex, the good news is that it's probably not a full-on scam, because I believe that they're regulated, so they do have to do like some actual research into the base project. For the information that we have, pretty good. It goes all the way back to October 2019, so okay, a couple years there. This is obviously continuation. Very likely makes new all-time highs on this run. I mean, it's making new all-time highs right now. I'd be looking for it to make new all-time highs probably even today. It looks pretty fucking good here on the daily. You didn't give a time frame on that, but all time frames are bullish here. 4 hours already breaking out. This is an ascending triangle right here. Just kind of mentally doing this one. It'd be about a 5-cent target or so on the next leg. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, man, that was quite annoying with Omar there. I'm just looking at all the messages now. It's like, holy fuck, man. There's like 20 of them in a row. Hey, Elsa, can you do your damn job? We got Nimbo here too. Nimbo's great. Nimbo's excellent. That's exactly right. Get back to the fucking kitchen. Anyway, Splorkleo says, how's Luna USDT looking on the 4-hour Binance? Okay. All right, so we have an exchange, we have a base pair, we have a time frame. Holy moly, man. All right, he said, yeah, versus Tether here. He said 4 hours specifically. I think it's looking at some more at some upside, at some real upside here, you say. Some real upside as opposed to fake upside. Yeah, I would agree. Pretty good chart here versus Tether for the last, not too much history, less than a year of history to be fair. But this is very likely to continue. I mean, this is just clear continuation phase. I do think that it comes into a relative local high somewhat soon, probably after this next leg. But at least for now, I'd probably be looking for continuation. Now, here's the thing: short term, could it have another downside leg towards 17.5? Yes, potentially. Yes, potentially. To be fair. Instead, really like to see hidden bullish evidence coming out of this low structure right here, which we actually don't have even possible right now. But ultimately, just judging by the daily, any sort of move back down to like 17.5 cents, I'd be looking for that one to be like an obvious opportunity and very likely march this one on to new all-time highs. Where targets be at. I mean, there's not really a good way to target this one, just because I imagine it's already played out our major fibs here, but we can double check just to see if there's anything that kind of flows. Yeah, it's pretty much already hit those. Next technical target would be about like about $22. Is that? Yeah, about $22 right there. Just under $22, but I actually don't think that it'll stop there. I do think that it probably has some more long-term upside, to be fair. Alrighty, moving on. What else do we got, baby? What else do we got? Mimi's that butter my biscuits. Oh, there he is, guys. You guys got to check out that channel. Got some funny content there for sure. Can I have Chili's burgers, please? Oh, you damn trolls. Is there an actual burger chain though? God damn it! I've been trolled once again by the troll master himself. Yeah, man. Can I have some chili burgers? You bastard. I know him pretty damn well. Good friend. So so all good. Hey, what's up, Mac Douglas? Mac Douglas, top of the morning to you, sir. Matic on the hourly specifically. Okay, that's no base pair on this one, so I'm gonna just generally go with USD here. And you said specifically on the hourly. All right. All right. Well, fair enough. Let's see. On the hourly. Consolidation after kind of breaking the range here. Very likely does try back up towards 43 cents and probably even beyond. I know you didn't ask for the 4 hour, but I do want to see it. Yeah, it looks fine here. I mean, I was going to say might have another small downside move to like 38 cents, but I'm not even actually looking at that. Looking at the 4 hour RSI right now, looks rather healthy. Hourly probably tries to thrust itself into some sort of consolidation right here. I'd say as long as it doesn't break the low of this structure, I'd generally be looking for continuation back up to about 43 cents, maybe even upwards of that to 44 cents short term if that's what you're concerned with. I'm curious what I'm curious what 4 hour stocks look like. Yeah, rather fine. What about daily? Yeah, fine. Daily is very good actually here. Daily is very good, in fact. So I do like that one too. Sean Mel says, "Hey Krown, Theta USD perps. All right, Theta. So I think you just want Theta perp. Is that? Oh wow, they do have it on FTX. Man, FTX is really rolling with all of their pairs. Man, they are just on top of their game. Okay, 4 hour and 12 hour. Oh, you said 4 hour and 12 hour Binance. Well, I don't believe that Binance even has Theta perps. It looks like, or am I wrong? Theta perp. Theta perp. Yeah, no, not on Binance, but if you are just looking at the perps on FTX, I mean, I can already look at this one right here. This is very, 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 very likely to make new all-time highs. I've like said the same goddamn thing on a lot of these coins, but it's true. You know, most of this market essentially moves together. It's actually usually a really bad sign if you're not kind of having the same general analysis on more or less everything. In this case, short term could have come back down to like 660, 663. Yeah, wouldn't be too out of the question. In fact, I'd be looking at that as an opportunity. Overall, though, daily looks like continuation to me. That would actually even just be a backfill and last on yesterday open. Usually going to be a nice little bounce area. Long term, obvious continuation here too. I like it. Good long term. At least for the time being. I mean, this is even increasing on volume to the upside. That's very, 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 very good, by the way. James Amos says, "Can you take a look at Bitcoin dominance chart?" Yes, we should definitely do that. I've actually been meaning to do that, and thank you for reminding me, man. Okay, let's see what we got over here. Yeah, a little bit of downside right there, short term, but I do like the bounce off of last week open. I'm still looking at this as a macro low right here. Very likely marches its way back up to the deeper 60% regions. Wouldn't even be surprised to see it make a run towards like 70% over the next coming months. Speaking of months, let's see what the monthly looks like right here. Yeah, monthly's still a little bit hanging on there, but a failure to break down, especially this month, is going to be damn good for a major low being put in. And at that point, I mean, you got to be looking towards 70 plus. But that's going to be over time. We're looking at a monthly right now. I'm curious what the bi-monthly looks like. Bi-monthly is showing a bit of a different picture here, to be fair. And the quarterly, which I do believe closes this at the end of this month, yes, it does, is still in limbo. I don't have an opinion on this one just yet, and we really don't have enough information on this one. In fact, this will be a good time now that I realize that the quarterly close is coming up at the end of this month. Let's go look at what the quarterly looks like on Bitcoin here. Just out of curiosity. Oh, that looks pretty fucking good. That looks pretty fucking good. Now, what I really want to see here is the differential between the last quarterly close in October 2020 and two quarterly closes ago versus our last one in January 2021. And you can see that the topside Trollander band moved up from 19,400 in October to 34,200 almost in January. So that's quite literally about that's about a 50% increase to the upside. Yeah, from 20,000 to 35,000 basically. So if we were to do another 50%, which I have no real reason to believe that Bitcoin's not going to have some similar response on this next closure here, because I mean, we've actually just even been more accelerated to the upside over the past quarter, then that would be somewhere around maybe $50,000. So that would set in a base around $50,000 actually, assuming that condition is met. Yes, we still want to see this obviously confirmed, but for right now, that would really start to solidify that, $52,000 area as likely a bottom, very, very likely a bottom before the next sort of continuation phase to the upside. So I do like that actually really, really, I know you didn't even ask for that at all, but I do find it rather interesting. So yeah, looking at Bitcoin dominance chart right here, clearly trying to put in lows somewhere around that 61% region. I'd be looking for bounce off there and likely to try again to the upside over the next few months. I still very much look at this as extremely likely a macro low here. All right, moving on. What else do we got, baby? What else do we got? Taylor Bear? Yep. What? Why? Because why not? Sir, it has to be kept secret and safe, like the ring. Well, there has to be a right time frame for that, sir. You can't. I don't take my orders from you. Taylor Bear says, hey, Krown and Elsa. What's up, Taylor Bear? Would you like to say hello and be respectful?
Hello, sir. How are you? Good to meet you.
Wow, that was the best small talk you've ever done in your life. New USD on Coinbase. Okay, on Coinbase. I see this ticker come up somewhat frequently. And you said daily specifically. Okay, daily doesn't have too much history here, only going back to December. So like only 3 or so months. So really not ideal here. Technically speaking, low-term time frames like a 4-hour. Do you have a death cross? I'd at the very least be looking for it to make another swipe towards the low, so at about 54 cents, 55 cents region. Do we look for another bounce around there? I mean, the daily's kind of droop here. I don't like this, to be honest with you. I know you didn't ask for it, but I'd like to look at a different exchange just to see what the long-term looks like. Maybe Poloniex? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's a nice one. Maybe not that one. Maybe OKX. Jesus Christ. All right, we're really going to the dregs right now. I don't really have a strong opinion on this one, man. I don't want to. I want to shoot you straight, and I don't want to. And I want to be transparent when I'm not too confident on something. In this case, I'm not too confident on this one. Now, if I'm going with the general market, we're probably going to be looking for a bounce around here. However, I would express concerns with this one. Technically speaking, there's not too much history here, so like my regular sort of veins of analysis sides in this one aren't going to be too great, but what do you oh my godding about there? If I did call it short term, I should be looking for another drive down towards about 53, 54 cents region. But I don't really feel too confident on this one. Generally the market is kind of bullish here though, so I'd generally be looking for continuation, but I can't really say that for this one specifically. All right, let's see, what do we got right now? Jesus Christ, this guy comes back and spams more. Will Ethereum hit 1760 tonight or no? Answer my question. This is Omar. Sir, you need to like Sir, you're out. sorry, but that's just pretty disrespectful and annoying. Chem Suicide says, so assets that move first in a bull cycle are more likely to be strong because they are first movers. Those late to the party don't have the same potential. It's not they don't have the same potential. The general knowledge is the strong get stronger and the weak get weaker. I'll give you an example right now, Chem Suicide. So let's pick up one that was bullish during 2018. I think one that comes to mind would certainly be Link versus US dollar right here, which we can look at. During 2018 and 2019, when Bitcoin was sideways and down, I mean, that was your $6,000, $3,000 drop. What happened with Link? It just put in higher lows along this region. So long-term, very, 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 very good. And guess what? Before Bitcoin even made new all-time highs, this one was making new all-time highs the whole way fucking through. And this one has been one of the biggest gainers, throughout that whole cycle. So that is what I mean by the strong get stronger and the weak get weaker, in the sense that when the market cycle actually turns around, the ones that were acting well during the bear market, they act phenomenally better than anything else. Compare that with, one of the ones that's more on the weaker side of the equation. And I'm gonna piss off the whole fucking army right now, but you know what? This is a really good sort of thingy to do. And you can see right here with Ripple, this one's not even close to making new all-time highs, still operating within its sort of accumulation range if you are looking at it from that perspective. And I would say that this one, with all of the rest of the market making new all-time highs for the most part, this one would obviously be considered relatively weak. Now, technically speaking, it hasn't even entered into like a macro downtrend, to be fair. Weekly downtrend definitely, and probably does end up following the rest of the market, but is it going to follow as much? Are the gains going to be as good? If thinking of opportunity cost, is this going to be as relevant? Because the way that I think as a trader is like, I could have been in Link, for example, but if I was holding something like this, then I forwent that potential opportunity with Link to hold something that's more or less sideways, while another thing is essentially full on fucking vertical. So with that in mind, that's what I mean by that. It's not that it doesn't have the same, it actually does mean that it doesn't have the same potential overall. It's probably going to follow just because of the general strength in the market. Everything gets to rally and its fucking mom. But Not that, you know, it's not going to be as impressive over the whole is what I'm trying to say. All right, cool. Dan Henderson says, hi, Krown. What's up, man? BDSM daily? Yes or no? BDSM daily. Is this a troll question? I don't know. BDSM daily? Wait, how do we even... God damn it. There we go. All right, BDSM. Hey! Oh, you got me. You got me, a fuck. You got me, a damn fuck. BDSM daily. I don't know, maybe for Rihanna, but then again, that didn't really work out all too well with, you know, that past relationship. So I hear. So the media says. Dude Daddy says, hey, Krown. Hello, Dude Daddy. Thanks for the great TA. Thanks, man. Can you look at Key USDT Binance daily, please? Okay. Key. This one sounds familiar. Self Key. Yeah, this is a 2017 coin, although I don't see it on any 2017 exchanges. Maybe Binance will have the history for this one. Hey, it is actually kind of following through too. Fair enough. Short term, probably be looking for a little bit of downside, maybe down to like 0.128 region, 129, something like that. I would be looking for long term continuation though. On the list of relatively strong and relatively weak shit that we've been looking at, this one would be more along the vein of relatively strong here. Long term continuation very much implied on this. Still seeing volume on the nice, upside move. So I do favor this one long term. Short term, does it have a little more downside? Looking likely, yes. Like I said, 0.013. What did I say on the daily? Because I'm looking at 0.133. Yeah, not anywhere between about 0.128 to 0.01 basically 3. It's kind of what we'd be looking for, and probably bounce around there. But long term does actually look pretty damn good. Alrighty, cool. I see you, Jack Frost. What is Jack Frost saying? Where is he, Mr. Jack Frost? Where are you? This is Omar. Yeah, it's like, this is Omar. This is banned. Hey, what's up, Willie? Thanks for that, man. Oh, nice little cool emoji there. But, you know, feel free to have a message as well. Mr. Ian Terry, how you doing, man? Into the crypto versus Omar has made his way to Krown. I see you, man. I see you. All right. Jeremy Shulman said, hey, what's up, Jeremy? Hey, Krown, my friend. Joe has been holding OMG since 2017 and expects us to rally. Please look into the camera and tell my buddy Joe to please sell OMG. Well, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Let's go look at OMG. BTC, Omisi Go. This one was the one that had partnerships with McDonald's in fucking Philippines, which is not relevant at all. But let's go. Joe?
Come get it! Come get it! Ah! 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 Ah!
Nice one, Joe. Nice one. Wow. Just when I thought I saw the shittiest chart of the day, we have a new contender for shittiest chart of the day. Who's the winner? Digibyte or OMG? It's named fucking OMG, by the way. It's named fucking OMG. Do you need no better? Do you need no better evidence of a meme coin? Everything else is making new all-time highs. God damn, man. Sir, you don't need to hold this. What's really interesting to me about altcoins and really anything actually, but specifically with altcoins in the context of this market is that people will like create identities around shitcoins where they start to join the XRP army, for example, or become like a Link Marine, which can make sense, especially when things are going well. But what blows my mind is when things go perennially terribly, like this one. This one doesn't even know what a fucking uptrend is. It's literally a pump and dump. Look, any pump that you get, it dumps. Any fucking pump that you get, it dumps. It is mind-blowing to me that there's still people that will hold on to this thinking it's just a bunch of whale manipulation trying to steal my OMG tokens because I'm going to use this at McDonald's someday. Like, what the fuck? I think McDonald's is very capable of making their own cryptocurrency if they really wanted to. Do they even want to do that to begin with? Probably not. Does it even make sense? Because I saw OMG on a sticker that was on a skateboard that Vitalik was holding in one screenshot. Bullish! Well, let's look at the other fucking, Vitalik coins. I think KNC one, another great name on this one. KNC BTC. We got Kyber Network. What is this, like a Star Wars coin? I love Star Wars, but goddamn, this is shitty as fuck. Hey, shitty as fuck. Wow, even looks like the same goddamn shitty chart that we just saw in Omisi Go. Very bad. Very bad. Omar BTC, please. All right, let's see what we got. Omar BTC. God damn it. It's a secret coin from a galaxy unknown. Let's see, we're now 24 minutes into this. I think this is actually my key to myself to wrap this bitch up. Let's see, Bitcoin. Let's go back to the lower term time frames over here. Is Bitcoin still likely to see that? I still do think that it's actually likely to see a little bit of a downside move here. But ultimately, long term is continuation. Hourly's popping back up. Again, well, let me mark this for Elsa. Let's wrap this bitch up. If I'm just speaking more in like a calmer tone right here. Looking at this right now, I mean, it does look like it could potentially do it. Yeah, could do it from here. I still think it's a little bit more likely to head back down to 52,000. I'd feel a lot better if Bitcoin head down to 52,000 bucks first before trying an upside move. Above 58,000 bucks, I will have to be bullish. All right, so how do I want to say this on the wrap up here? I still do think that it does come down. Let's see what the other big three are kind of doing here. Butyrol, yeah, a little bit of short-term downside, still a little bit likely. I still like it long-term, but short-term, yeah, a little bit of downside, certainly not out of the question here. What about Litecoin? One of the former big three. Yeah, a little bit of short-term downside likely implied here too. Again, don't confuse short-term downside with long-term downside. I'm still very much bullish on this market. I don't really see a top, at least for now. What about SPY? Short-term's kind of fine here. What about NAS? Short-term's kind of fine here. What about Dow Jones? Short-term's pretty fine here. General markets are bullish here. All right, fair enough. All right. Before we get to Bitcoin, I would like to discuss traditional markets because I do believe that is sort of the key to looking at Bitcoin's just general trajectory here. Starting up with the leader of the markets right now, Mr. Dow Jones Industrial Futures, which is symbol YM1. I would be looking at this one to very likely put in a little bit of a higher low as it is right now. I believe we are working on some hidden bullish divergence as well. If this does confirm as a higher low, how this confirms as a higher low, anywhere above any sort of a closure above last open would do it for me. And I would be looking for a retest of all-time high at about 32,850 and very like the new all-time highs, I believe, to our next targeted region somewhere around 33, just above 33,000 bucks. I believe also in line with one of our fib extensions here too. If I pull this baby all the way out, which is right around the 2 spot 414. So nice one. Hex is a scam. Is that what? Hex is a scam? No way, man. You're telling me that that's not free money? That's crazy. Anyways, looking at SPY futures, kind of same thing here too. Actually does look like the short-term time frame putting a little bit of a higher low. Do we see that same sort of potential divergence? Yes, we do. Credit to Caretaker on this one. And I would be looking for this one to retest the prior all-time high at about 39,667.5 and probably make new all-time highs. Still looking at a target of about $4,000 plus. And looking at NASDAQ, which is a little bit more correlated with Bitcoin specifically. Could this one also be put in a higher low? Potentially, yes. This one looks a little bit more shaky. Obvious confirmation and continuation above the 200 simple here at 13,240-ish bucks. Still looking for a general move up towards 13,350 and beyond. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one at 13,550, 13,600 probably within the next week or so. So with that said, I'm generally bullish on Bitcoin, of course. When I go down to the lower term timeframes, it's more or less the same as the last few days here. I do look at this as more or less a range with long-term bullishness. But if I'm looking at the short-term timeframe, still the range is between about 58,000 bucks to the upside versus about 52,000 bucks to the downside. Technically speaking, I probably would be a little bit more on the side of looking for that downside move next, seeing as Bitcoin did just kind of test the top side or around the top side of the range. You get a little bit of a rejection right there with momentum oscillators on the short-term timeframes in a little bit of a precarious place. 4-hour Stochs right at the edge of the bearish control zone, which typically is a natural sort of drama place. 3 hours, same. Well, actually no, 3 hours kind of pounded through. By hourly kind of flip-flopping around a bit as well, and hourly is technically down. So if I did have to call it right now in the short-term timeframes, I would still favor the downside. Probably another drive down to like 52,000 bucks, somewhere around there, and I'd be looking for bounce around there. But in line with what we see on traditional markets, especially, I do look for long-term continuation. And again, referencing this chart over here, which actually, well, we can just start off with the 3-month or the quarterly, which is going to be closing at the end of this month, by the way, which is kind of a big deal. I mean, this is really fucking good. This is going to assuming that Bitcoin closes anywhere here, Bitcoin will very likely set in a base a little bit above 50,000 bucks, which actually would be very much in line with that $52,000 target. So if it does get tested, I do really favor that area. Looking at the weekly, I'm still bullish on this. Looking at the bi-weekly, I would even be willing to say that Bitcoin very likely to make new all-time highs, extremely likely in the next 3 to 4 weeks, maybe even within the next week and a half to 2 weeks here. So with that said, short-term time frames very similar from yesterday to today. Just looking at a range. If Bitcoin does break above $58,000, I do have to be looking for a move back up to 60,000 plus to be fair. So that would be still my critical region to the upside versus $51,500 to the downside. That would be my continuation point for another $3,500 move to about 48, maybe a little bit lower than that as well, at 47.5 region, but I'd be looking for another potential low to be put in right there. Ultimately, if you are thinking long term, I'm still looking for a general continuation to our $69,000 targets, potentially beyond over time. So with that said, I do want to wish you well. I'll be back on later with a little bit of late day wrap up. Going to do a nice flight today, and luckily I'll have 777 by my side, my lovely flight instructor, as well as Mr. Frost too. So with that said, I want to wish you well. See you soon, and Elsa will be our flight attendant. Take care.